All right, without further ado, let's get into game number 2. Extremely beefy St. Clair College side, or on the blue side, rather. And then the rather dominant Ontario Tech University squad coming out from the red side. And what kind of setup are we going to see? Unlike the last game, we do see St. Clair spreading out a lot more.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Line of scrimmage style, just trying to get vision on as much as possible. I know, at least for the longest time, if you picked a Mumu, you would expect to get invaded, but it's actually going to be Lanam. Going to get the jump onto Apex Snipe, get a little bit of free damage in before the laning phase even starts. But he should be able to back and get back to lane before any minions are lost. With that being done, Blin's going to spot this out. He's going to see the ward come down for Akali, but if that was an attempt at an invade, they decided against it. If it was just a ward, they got the ward down. Yeah, so this lane phase should be much different overall across the board for the most part. As now, I feel like Pantheon gets poked down, but I could totally be wrong on, like, similar to what we just saw right there, where those Qs just do a fantastic job of poking. And Lord Touch Me doing a good job of harassing a tease up in the top lane to start things off. But the engage down on the bottom side, Blin's going to be taking quite a bit of damage, already down to half health. The Moffat pretty low as well, about half health at the same time. Potions are going to be forced to pop at this point. Now, thankfully for young Falcon, even though he's getting poked out by those Vagar Qs, at least right now they don't do a heck of a lot of damage. So you can just regen it quickly up. Now Taiga getting the gank on the tease up in the top lane. Going to try and duel it out. He does have red buff, but Or Touch Me was not able to get any additional damage on top of that. So they're basically going to trade for about half their health each. Lanam engages right onto Blin. It gets a little bit of extra damage onto it. Apex is going to just continue to push forward. He's going to be eating at least half his HP for it. And Blin was not hitting with Marksman I think he was supposed to. Okay, no, Moffat got a lot of HP taken off him, so no, that was good. That's good. Focusing the actual damage dealer, not the support. You know, things that you should be doing. Of course, Blin's Q, if he charges that thing up, he's got a massive snipe shot that does pierce through minions. So Moffat's definitely got to be careful. And he is going to be opting to back. So far, St. Clair all for the better in this laning phase to start things off. They're going to actually be able to make the side of Ontario Tech University start losing some minions pretty early, and finally, for the first time in this series, we do see the bot lane winning on CS. Yeah. A little bit of a skirmish, of course, back and forth in this top lane, as always. But the longer the fights, kind of in between fights rather, the better for a tease, as he's got so much additional health regen. Flash, bandage toss, gonna force the flash actually from Lord Touch Me. And he's gonna walk right back up there, but Akali is still there with red buff. If Lord Touch Me does decide to get aggressive with it. The flash hook actually coming out from a tease, that was clutch. It allows Akali to get the bandage toss. That's maximum bleed. And first blood going over to a tease, picking up where he left off with his kill count in the first game. Yeah, so nicely done there from Ontario Tech, just waiting it out, assuming that Lord Touch Me wasn't going to play it safe. The nice flash engage there from a tease to hook him in to the point where the bandage toss would actually connect. It was a perfect little play there from Ontario Tech. So far, so good still for St. Clair in the bot lane. Mid lane looking pretty even for the most part. Falcon, both these guys essentially just surviving. Falcon taking a little bit of damage here and there, but doesn't really have to worry until level 6, I believe. Of course, Pantheon's ult isn't exactly the craziest. But Veigar at 6, of course, is disgusting. He's getting a little bit over aggressive. Going to eat 2 turret shots for his leisure. Meanwhile, Lanam getting the engage on, and it's going to be Blinn trying to shove Moffat away. Nakutaikin looking to try and figure out which target he wants to go for, but he's not going to opt to flag and drag as a teleport is forced from Veigar from the mid lane. So Alam coming down to stop that push, but at least thankfully for Nakutaikin, did not commit to that as he was about to make his way down, and he was level 6, so he very well could have popped his ultimate and bursted somebody had that engagement actually occurred. It may have looked funny, but it was the right call. Okay, Pantheon, hello. Just dives on in, does a little bit of damage, and walks his way back out. Lord Touch Me going to be forced to pop the equalizer, and it's not going to do enough. T's going to be able to 1v1 him up in the top lane. So Lord Touch Me definitely having a rough time so far in this top lane, especially as soon as Akali came up there for the double gank. But speaking of Akali, he's coming down with the flash engage from Lanam. Nothing did make contact until that bandage toss onto Apex Type. He's going to be forced to flash away, but he is down to less than a quarter HP. They are going to get the kill. Moffat going to get the final shot onto him, getting 1 kill onto the AD carry, which is absolutely clutch considering they've been down in CS compared to St. Clair. So able to keep things relatively even moving forward. Yeah, so 3 kills unanswered so far for Ontario Tech University. Just been farm-wise, it's been going over to St. Clair for the most part, but all of these engages, just beautiful for Ontario Tech. And I will give credit to St. Clair. As of right now, they've been playing like a lot smarter. They've adjusted their composition to kind of make up to where they were lacking during game number 1. And this is still extremely early. We're not even at the 10-minute mark yet. But we still have the 1,000 gold lead for Ontario Tech. But now that we start seeing level 6s start coming across the board, the only one not with it so far is just Moffat. We might see some better engagements here for St. Clair, considering I think they're just a better overall team fight squad with this team comp. Pretty well complete vision control right now for Ontario Tech down the bot lane. Atiz is looking to get aggressive onto Lord Touch Me, and he's going to get maximum bleed extremely quick. Nakutaikin coming in to try and make the save, but I would hope it for just be a disengage, but it's not going to be the case, as that's going to be a Pantheon coming up. That's going to be Young Falcon showing up out of nowhere. but Atiz is going to get one. He's going to get two, and this is going to be just damage across the entire map. Atiz is barely alive, but he is going to finally go down to Young Falcon, but Alam was there to essentially get the refrag on that one. And we just lost 4 members for St. Clair College while only getting 1 for ourselves. Extremely well done cross-map pressure from Ontario Tech. And then Apex, I don't know exactly what he was going for there, but he's going to get himself smoked if he's not careful. Stopwatch popped, and the ult does come out from Moffat, and it is going to snipe him down. But at least Nekutaiken was able to answer right back with the kill onto Moffat, getting the shutdown once again. And Nekutaiken still diving in on this one. Blinn is short to follow, but he kind of needs to stay still for his actions to really get in their way. And sure enough, they are going to finally get the knock up, and Nekutaiken going to get himself another kill. A big bandage toss coming in from Nakali right on top of Blinn. He's going to try and kite away the best he can, but Atiz is there, and he's bloodthirsty as ever. Nekutaiken barely coming out alive, forcing a teleport. That is going to be... or Touch Me going down there. And Young Falcon's still trying to mess with Atiz as well. All of St. Clair chasing Atiz at this point, and out of nowhere, Atiz is going to be able to actually get the kill on Nekutaiken. This has just been the Atiz show, essentially, between these last 2 games. And he's already got his Trinity forces and everything. We do have a pause coming out here. Try and get the update onto what's going on if we're going to get back into the game shortly. Yeah, so Trinity Force already set up for Darius, which I feel like is not actually an optimal item for it, but just a I'm so far ahead item I can get away with building this. And then Zaya is already got her first item done as well. So this is extremely scary right now for St. Clair, as 2 players are carrying right now for Ontario Tech with items. And that Veigar is going to be short to follow at this rate. Let's see if we can get the update on this pause. Okay, upon going back to check on the guys in the nest, they are back to playing, so this should be solved and underway very, very quickly. So far for St. Clair, like their composition, I feel like I had mentioned before, does revolve a lot more around team fighting. But a lot of what we've been seeing so far from Ontario Tech University is just pressure across multiple points, especially since it hasn't gotten past that, like, that 12-minute mark, that 15-minute mark where it starts to get into like more of a snow or like a death volley kind of phase, where objectives like Dragon and whatnot become a little bit more higher prioritized. This is where Ontario Tech's just been able to shine, whether it be sending 3 down bot, then 2 top, and still being able to make the plays happen before the St. Clair squad are able to find the chance to death ball. Or what, but so far, looking good for Ontario Tech. And as I mentioned Dragon, I do see Mafia and Lanam taking a look at it, just getting the the scuttle ready and everybody else all set to try and take this Drake. It is the Mountain Drake, of course. So additional structure damage on the line. And two of them hanging in the mid. We do have a tease there. And Akali's actually going to find Nakutai and messing with the Rift Herald. But it's actually going to be Akali who's going to be in trouble until the rest of the squad arrive. Lanuna is there. We have the ults coming all across. Tease getting himself a quick double. Young Falcon bleeding out up in the top. But Akali is so low. Lord Touch Me going to try and finish him off. And he is not going to be able to. So many members of St. Clair falling once again with no return. And the icing on the cake, this Rift Herald here for Ontario Tech.
Turret plating will fall.
And we're going to see Rift Heralds come on down in the mid lane to try and finish off this turret and just push this engagement, make that lead just that much better. We're actually going to see the teleport coming down from Alam. He's going to find Blinn farming. And this could be rough for him. He's going to try and flash away. He does have his ult available if he wants to, and he is going to finalize it. Alam going to force a flash out of himself, but he is going to get that kill. And as soon as that's all done, just go over and get the Drake. One objective after another so far for Ontario Tech. Rift Herald, check. Teamfight, check. One more gank. Check. Dragon. Check. As it just continues to build this nasty gold lead, borderline like 6,000-7,000 at this point. Just very similar to game number 1, where it looked rough but not undoable during the first 10 minutes, but once it passed that 10-minute mark, it just seemed like it was all Ontario Tech. Of course, this game's still rather early, and it's nothing that cannot be caught back up from. Yeah, Falcon does know Lanam is right there, but neither of the players opting to act aggressively, but a tease is right there. And we know, if anything, he loves to get aggressive, especially with the build he's got going on right now. 8 kills, 2 deaths, 2 assists. Absolutely disgusting so far. And meanwhile, while all this is happening, bot tower is essentially 1 shot away of falling as well. That's going to be another juicy little pot bonus there for the Ontario Tech squad. There it goes. Oh, I'm going to finally finish that off and get back to base. Or I'm a liar, and he just moves forward. I mean, who are they going to send after him? Blinn? He's just going to get blown up instantly if he tries, so I wouldn't be too afraid if I was a lamb right now and I knew where everybody else was. Nakutai only one there to defend, and Blinn is just in no man's land, and sure enough, he gets popped in. Pantheon coming in hot, trying to get himself this kill, and thankfully he's going to be able to shut down Vagar finally. Essentially using poor Blinn as bait, if anything. Try and get themselves back into this game. So many members of Ontario Tech moving in towards that bot turret. See if they can try and finish this thing off. It still has a lot of health, actually. But the tank line are just going to try and zone everybody else away. Meanwhile, the bot, or the back line, just shredding away. Akali going in aggressive, but he's just so tanky that it doesn't even matter. Just not enough damage coming out from St. Clair at that moment to focus down Amumu to make him hurt for that engage. So in the meantime, that bot turret just falls freely. There's the flag and drag from Nakataiken, but Lanam going to jump aside. There's the ultimate coming out from Akali, and the big skirmish continues. Blinn, I don't know how the heck you got into the front line, but that was an unfortunate spot to be. As so far, it's actually Akali going to get himself the double on top of Blinn falling. rough time here for St. Clair. I don't know if Blinn got hooked up there or not, but that was just unfortunate. We're going to see another one go down as Alam gets some in the nope box and just blasts him with that ultimate. Yeah, if I was anybody from St. Clair right now, I would not want to try and defend against this. This Veigar hurts too dang much. But Moffat's actually going to be the first one getting flag and dragged and gets engaged upon, but it's actually going to get turned around. Apex going to be forced to flash away. Falcon diving deep. He's going to take a ton of damage for his troubles. Lenam right there for the save. And another extremely over-aggressive move from St. Clair is going to just turn this over into just so much gold for Ontario Tech University. Unfortunately, St. Clair just not getting the positioning or the communication so far to make this kind of composition work in their favor. Like the one chance where they actually had the death ball down like towards the bot side jungle. When they had them there, just somehow Blinn was in the front line. Got blown up before anything could really even get started. The composition couldn't work. And then every other time, it's just been people trickling in over and over again. Just essentially giving Veigar exactly what he wants. And another thing I like for Ontario Tech, I had mentioned it before, but just so much focus is actually on the objective as well. Able to just line up everything as they wish. Team fight, they get Drake, they get turret, they don't just overextend, they don't push like stupid hard if they don't have to. Speaking of pushing stupid hard, let's see what happens here with Apex. He does get the taunt onto Akali, but this is a beefy boy. He's going to have to use his ultimate to just try and escape, and barely going to stay alive. Apex Sniper uses his ultimate, but it's to no avail. He's going to get chopped in half by a tease as the rest of the Ontario Techies come marching in to just slay everybody. How is this mummy still alive? He's still going. You could probably sense it in my voice as I saw Apex dive at the Amumu that I wasn't quite 100% sure where this was going. And sure enough, it turns exactly as I thought. And now we have 4 players here for Ontario Tech. Just going to finish off this Baron. Meanwhile, Moffat's just so confident that he goes all the way down mid and gets so much damage onto the turret to the point where this is going to be really difficult to even try and hang on to while those Baron buffed minions are a thing. And I could take, and this is not a fight you want, even if it is a support. He's going to poke him a few times and then opt to let him go, thankfully. But it's not even enough damage to bust through his shield. The members of Ontario Tech University just on an absolute killing spree, picking up where they left off in game 1. Everybody is just there to play. We have now 11 kills, 2 deaths, and 4 assists on Atiz and his Darius. This mummy has not died yet. Akali, 3 kills, no deaths, 8 assists. Alam just doing exactly what he needs to do, finding lone members and just bursting them open. 7-1-1. And then the bot lane just adding on so much safe damage to secure the kills for everybody else. Moffat and Lenam may not exactly be the stars in terms of the stat sheet, but everything that they are doing is just lining up the rest of their team for greatness. As 2 turrets go down, we're probably going to see this bot inhibitor fall very shortly as well. This is not looking good here for St. Clair College. As the bot one does fall, middle's going to be short to follow, and Darius, a tease up in the top lane, is going to just keep it pushing as well. Where do you even engage this as St. Clair? Like, I don't know even where you go unless you can find yourself a single pick. But as we've seen before, even with the single pick, they're just so tanky. And they're going to try to do it now. You got the Kateka jumping in, but he gets popped by a lamb pretty quickly. Apex barely getting away with his life. Lord Touch Me going to get stunned up and bursted once again. And sure enough, this was a rough fight for St. Clair. It is not going to prevail this time. Apex is going to get dove in the fountain. The mummy finally goes down to almost secure the penta here for a lamb. Gonna get himself the quadra, but regardless of what kind of kill streak you got, that is going to be the W here in this set as Ontario Tech University gonna take the quick 2-0 over St. Clair College.